Good morning. Can you guys hear us okay? All right. Well, welcome. Welcome to the stage. This is the first time I bought index cards in probably 25 years. I had to run to a few CVS's, but um, well, I want to jump right in. You're a busy guy today. I know you're heading to the track. I think everyone probably is curious. How did you get to Alpine?
Me myself.
Yeah. What led you there?
Well, first of all, I'm super happy to be here. Super cool for us to come to Miami. It's only once per year, so we're traveling a lot. But it's one of the event we highlight at the beginning of the season. We love coming here. We love the US. So thank you for having us. It's really a pleasure for us to be here. It's a long story, so I will make it super short. I'm French, as probably you can hear in my accent. I can't hide that. I started my career in motorsport. I worked 6 years in motorsport, World Rally Championship, and stuff like that. And after that, I said, look, you need to have a real job. So I decided to do something else. And I went to the business side of things, selling cars. And I've moved to 7 countries, building brands in China and different countries. And then the opportunity came to have the two passions to come together, building brands and motorsport. And this is where I came back to Alpine and to try to, relive the brand using motorsport as the main engine. So I said, look, it's the moment in your life where the dots connect. It's the combination of all the experiences you have in the past, international, motorsport, business. So was the right job at the right time.
Great. I think you made the right choice. So you've gone through a lot of change as a company, everything from a name change of Renault to Alpine to the first 3 races of the year. You had to change your color scheme, which I want to get into a little bit. But talk about the name change. Why the name change? I know there was some meaning behind it, but not only the name change of why you did it, but the impact that it's going to have in the future.
Well, to understand the name change, you need to understand the strategy what's behind, basically. Alpine is a brand who was founded in 1955, so it's quite old. It's a brand which is loved in France. Really, all people know the brand. It's been discontinued in the 80s. Like a lot of brands were discontinued in the 80s, in Europe at least. And we decided to relaunch the brand at the beginning of basically 4 or 5 years ago. And this brand has always been about racing. The founder, Jean Redélé, he took a car in his garage and he made it as light as possible, as agile as possible. He went to the Alps. This is why the name is Alpine. And he had fun with his friends. That's basically what it's about. And it's still the same. We want to have cool cars, agile cars, light cars, go have fun and race. That's what we do. So basically, when the decision was taken to relaunch the brand, say, okay, how are we gonna market that brand? How should we do advertising campaign and stuff like that? Say, no, it's not the way for a brand like this. And we had Renault in F1 for a long time, as you know. And the connection between Renault as a brand in F1 and Renault as a business was a bit weak, if we're honest. If you do, we don't know these cars, but Traffic or Clio, very small cars, and then the F1, the connection is not genuine. It's very difficult to explain why, how the technology of a F1 car can lead, can affect the road cars. With Alpine, it's completely different story. We won everything. World Rally Championship, endurance, Le Mans, all these kind of things. So racing is in the DNA. So basically, we said, look, we're going to transfer the investment from Renault and F1 to Alpine, rename the team, and the F1 is at the core of everything we do. It's fueling the marketing campaigns, the awareness. It's fueling also technology, which is super important to us. So basically, it's much more logical if you think about it, because it's really the DNA of the brand.
Was there a fear there would be some confusion with your fan base of, hey, this is a different name, is this a different team, and how did you overcome some of that?
Yeah, it's a very good question. In France, was like this. Everybody understood like this. But France is only a small part of the world. Even if we're super arrogant, we know that France is not the center of the world. So we knew it would be a challenge. But F1 is becoming so powerful that the audience is there. So it's just how you explain it, how you go to the people, you meet people, and you try to explain what you do, who you are. So we see that as an opportunity in reality, because F1 is so big now. You've got so much people following it that the mere fact of changing the name is giving you the platform of explaining what you're doing.
Right.
But it's a long work. It's not something you do in a year or two. It's probably a 10 years project.
Right.
The targets is for 2030 to really go to a level of awareness everywhere in the world. US will be one of the big things we need to tackle. But today we sell in Europe only the road cars. So France is done. UK and Germany are really the two core markets we work.
Okay.
And this is where you can see the sales are doubling every year. So we've got traction now. But
Great.
it's a long process.
We're going to jump into your international expansion in a minute or so. So it's difficult for brands to kind of change identity color schemes, right? The first three races of the year, you had pink on your car for your sponsor, BWT, a water company. Um, how did that come about? And obviously, with sponsors, you have to adapt to some of the things they're looking for to accomplish. But can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can. Of course, as you say, the first question for us is that our color is blue. So the first thing is why do you want to go to pink? You know, because it's confusing for the people, and it's not something you really want to do at the beginning. So we said, okay, let's turn that into an opportunity, and try to make something cool about it. So the good things when you have a color like the pink is that it raises attention because it's not a color you see often in Formula One. It's not a color you see nowhere, to be honest, apart from Miami, which I know you like the pink, but normally it's not a color you see that much. So we say, look, it's cool at the end of the day, and let's turn that into something that again will raise questions. So this is why we say to the other sponsor, if you have a normal race, I would say you've got normal exposure. If you come with the pink thing, then you raise a lot of questions. Why the pink? What does it mean? Is that a role in the strategy? And then the attention you gave to the sponsor in reality is much more than what they would have done normally.
Yeah,
So that's why we try to do.
for what it's worth, my wife likes the pink car. And I think this market with what the Miami Heat have done, they like it too. But okay, so global expansion. Obviously, this is a sport that's taking off worldwide. I think everyone's starting to consume it more. If you might have consumed it a lot in the past, but how are you expanding globally beyond France? What are some of the key markets? You kind of mentioned some, but where are you seeing growth?
Well, basically, we are sports car brand, premium. So what we need to look at is basically the range between 180,000 to $150,000 kind of cars. So it's super simple to read. You know, we're not a mainstream brand. So it makes the market for us super easy to read at the end of the day. Where do you have the people able to buy this kind of product and interested into this kind of experiences that we offer? So basically, in Europe, it's pretty simple. You've got the lazy people in the south and the working people in north. So the market is pretty easy to see. I'm from the south, that's why I'm saying that.
I have no part of that comment, by the way.
But every country is like this, you know. You take north and south, and it works everywhere. But at least in Europe. So basically, in Europe, the people able to buy this kind of cars are already UK, Germany, France, and
Yeah.
and the north of Europe, for two reasons. First, because it's true, you've got more money there, more people, more consumer able to buy the products, and because also of tradition. It's a place that's places where people like to drive.
Yeah.
They are super amateur of technical stuff. They look to get the new product. They love technology. There's a lot of tracks where people like to go
Yeah.
over the weekend and stuff like that. So that's really the free markets. These free markets are 80% of the sales that we are able to achieve. So of course we want to address everything everywhere,
Okay.
but the free key markets are Germany, UK, and France. That's where we start.
Okay. Very interesting. So I was watching an hour-long YouTube video of your CEO, and he mentioned that a few months ago, your new cars have a target market of the U.S. I think in 2026, if I'm not mistaken. Can you expand on the strategy?
Yeah. I will start by an anecdote, which was fun. When we won the GP in Hungary in 21, we look at, digital data, blah, blah, blah. And we had a big surprise is that the second visiting country in the website was the US,
Okay.
where we don't sell and nobody knows us basically. So we say, wow, something is happening in the US and we need to have a look. And we started to deep dive a bit. And last year we came with a couple of cars and we put them on the street and just, hang around and see what people were doing. And
Right.
we were amazed by really what happened, the number of people asking questions and stuff like that. We say, oh, it's something we need to deep dive here. And the more we study it, the more consumer research we do, the more we see the fit that
Yeah.
that the brand has with American consumer. That's something which is super interesting to us. And the second reason is that half of the sports market in the world is here in the
Yeah.
US.
Yeah.
50% of the sports car market is here in the US. I think you are a country of car lovers. You love to drive, you love racing, you love these kind of things, and you can see in the streets and the car that you sell here. So basically, the combination of this market existing and the
Right.
fact that we think there is a natural fit between our brand and the US market was the thing. And the third element is of course F1.
Yeah.
F1 is becoming big here.
Right.
3 GPs. It's totally crazy, really, what you guys are doing here in Miami,
Yeah.
Austin. Austin, I didn't know it. I thought it was the middle of nowhere. And you come here, 600,000 people over the weekend. It's just wow, mind blowing, really. Las Vegas, I don't want to talk about it. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think we're a little
completely
apprehensive of Las Vegas, but it'll give
mental.
Miami a run for its money. You mentioned something outside when we were chatting earlier about experiential and the importance of that in the sport. And I think you putting your cars on the streets, even just to create those experiences, is really important. This market specifically, a lot of fans, a lot of non-fans are coming to tennis events, golf events. Pickleball is something that's kind of taken off, and now Formula One. So I think that's a big key for this market where we see a lot of activations and it's creating more of an experience. And the sport is still number one, but that's a close number two. So that's important. But being in Miami, I guess, is there anything unique or challenging in this particular market?
Oh yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah,
A lot of things here are different. First is the attention of the people around. You know
yeah,
what you see in the streets, and you can see that the cities around the GP is around F1, and it's something that you feel really.
yeah,
That gives a lot of energy to everyone in the team. It's a place we look forward to come,
yeah.
because you can feel the breeze and you can feel the energy of the city, which is you don't feel everywhere, but you
Right.
feel it here. Then it's not an easy one in terms of logistics.
Mm.
I have to tell you, we brought 6 cars here.
Okay.
They are not homologated for the US, and we spent nights and nights and nights negotiating with the authorities at the port to get the cars in. So that's also something that's interesting for us to discover.
Yeah.
It's not that easy as it
Yeah.
seems it is,
Right.
and it's something we need to work and learn.
Okay.
But yes, and the third thing is maybe consumer reactions.
Mhm.
We brought these 6 cars at the Concourse Club. It's a track which is not far away from here. We had 30 customers, really top-notch people.
Yeah.
We wanted to get feedback on the cars and stuff, and it was amazing. I mean, the reaction of the people. We had a guy came to me and said, "I want to buy 3 of these."
Right.
It's something we were not expecting, and something we need to learn to work with. I mean,
Okay.
the pace of the thing here is probably different than what we used to do in Europe.
Right.
So it's a different market, and and in the even in the north, huh?
What has your attention within sport or just motorsport in 2023? And that could be good or bad.
Well, it's a good question. I would say for me it's a combination of 2 things.
Okay.
The first is how F1 is growing. It's absolutely amazing. Everywhere you go, from Japan to Singapore to here in the US, South America, Middle East. I mean, everywhere you go, it's year by year by year, we can see it's bigger. Yeah.
Right.
So the fan base, the fandom, media, and everything is just crazy. And at the same time, so the sport is growing, but at the same time, the consumer are getting more and more demanding on us,
Yeah.
especially on social responsibility, CSR, sustainability. So it's you become bigger and bigger, but it comes with a responsibility. What are you doing for the world? Okay, you have cars running in track, good, but for what? You know.
Right.
So it's the combination of this interest for the sport and the demands of the customer in terms of social responsibility, environment, CO2, these kind of things. What are you doing, you guys, big guys in motorsport, to make the world better?
Yeah.
That's what I see as a big, big thing.
Okay. That's great. I'm gonna shift gears, pun intended, to the data side. So I think you probably expected this coming. You've got 30 plus sponsors per our data set. We just put out a report and it showed like F1 sponsors as a whole, team and league, were up 26% year over year. Is there something that is, I guess, being asked for more by sponsors year over year that you're seeing? Or are they asking for more social content, or are they asking for higher visibility assets? What's a kind of a trend that you're seeing?
Well, there's many things
Yeah.
happening. If I would say a word is uniqueness, you need to be tailor-made now.
Yeah.
So the time that you put a sticker on the car and it's visible, it's on TV, it's gone.
Yeah.
If you're not able to tailor-made everything that you do to the need of the sponsor, then you're out of the market.
Right.
So basically, it's social, yes, of course, but social is the logical translation of what you do in the car. But social needs to be super tailor-made to what is the need of the sponsor. So if you have a technology partner, if you got an FMCG partner,
Mhm.
if you got a technology partner, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So it's up to us to be able with the teams and the guys to make sure we deliver the right package
Okay.
to the sponsor. That's first thing, really. You don't sell standard stuff, it's gone.
Yeah.
And the second thing is activation. Money can't buy stuff.
Right.
You know, it's really you need to be able to offer something which is unique. For example, yesterday we had an idea. I think nobody has done that before. We took out the cars from the garage, the F1 cars. I had to negotiate months with the sporting director to do that. Say,
Okay.
get rid of the cars, and we had a dinner in the garage. Nobody
Okay.
has done that before. So if you are able to offer that, you know that the garage is really the place to be where the car are
Yeah.
normally, and you've got 25 guys able to have champagne and nice dinner in that place that the car will be in 2 hours
Right.
driving.
Right.
That's the kind of things that people are looking for now.
Okay.
So you need to be able to think, to innovate, and to go in the experience side of things
Yeah.
and digital side of things at the moment, but really tailor-made. That's the word I would keep: unique and tailor-made.
Gotcha. Um, your top two drivers, I think, have 6 million social followers on Instagram alone. I was looking last night, and obviously they're going to have their own individual sponsors, but um, how are you leveraging their followership? Are you leveraging it? How open are they to kind of posting on behalf of your corporate partners?
We are lucky because
Yeah.
we've got two lovely drivers, honestly, not because they're French, but because they're lovely. So no, they're really lovely people, and they know it's our common interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, um, we share strategy at the beginning of the year. We share content, so everything we do is available for them. And basically, they share with us everything that they do, and we try to make clever stuff together. Basically, that's what we try to do. But it's super important to leverage the communities and to make sure you've got again the right content at the right moment.
Yeah.
And this is what the people are expecting to, because the car and the driver is just one unit at the end of the day.
Right.
So you need to show that there is no that we work together as a team.
Yeah.
That's something super important. If you don't do that, if the driver is criticizing the team and blah blah, blah, if you create this kind of bridge, then it becomes very dangerous, even
Yeah.
with the media.
Okay.
So we need to play united, especially now. We haven't done a great start of the season.
Mhm.
That's the moment as a comms director, you put everybody in the room and say, that's the way we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay. Couple minutes to have the audience. 2 minutes. Okay. We'll do this quick. What's up? Oh, I have 5 minutes. Okay, good. We're gonna give you guys some time to ask some questions. What's something, I guess, what's the biggest misconception or something that people, just the average fan consumer, doesn't know about F1?
The number
Your
the number
secrets.
of mice we collect of flying in the world. No, I would say the misconception for me is two things. I would say first is the number of people working behind.
Yeah.
You see on TV 2 drivers, 8 mechanics. So you think it's small, but the team is 1,200 people.
Okay.
So basically, it's a big team, big
Yeah.
investment, and you don't see it when you come to Enstone and you see the number of people working on it. You realize how big it is, and how many people are working that. And you've got day shift, night shift, so people are
Right.
working 24/7 in the factory. So
Yeah.
you don't realize until you see it, until you have the chance to visit the factory, and to see the amount of work, the amount of investment that you've got. If you see only the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
that's first thing. And the second thing is it seems to be super fast and the pace and the race and race and race, but at the end of the day, it's about planning. We plan already for 26. We know in 26 we have a change of regulations, and we work on that already today.
Okay.
So it seems to be super fast and everything, but you need to plan very much in advance. That's something that probably people don't know. But we
So-
work already on 26 regulations, and now how this will impact the sport.
So you're managing the now and planning for the future.
Yeah, you need to manage both. You need to manage today, what's happening in the next hour when you're at the track,
Right.
and the next crisis that's going to come, because that's F1. We love drama, so you need to get ready. But in another way, you also think about 26 and about also discussion with sponsors,
Yeah,
how the world is going to evolve. So it's a combination of now and strategy.
got it. Okay. Well, I know you're busy. He's got to get to the track. Question, Lee.
Have you identified any specific industry sectors in the next 3 to 4 years that you want to pursue partnerships with?
Well, it's a good question. It's a good question. What we love to do is to partner with brands who have a bigger purpose than F1. What I was saying at the beginning, and this is what we try to do. We try to select the brands that would activate our brand in a way that's common. You see, so that's what we. It's not a sector in particular. It's to find a brand that you can write a story with. That's a genuine story, and that goes behind F1. That's for me the trend. You need to be able to show what you do for the world, and you've got a lot of brands working on that directions. So if you can have common projects, we for example have a big thing that we do in Alpine that's called Race Her for women. We want to be the first team bringing an F1 driver, female F1 driver. F1 is a macho world, breed man, 50 years old. That's what it is, and we want to change that. You need more um, diversity in the sport, and you need more women in the sport. So this is something we truly do, and we invest a lot of money, and we want to change. We go to the school education. We do a lot of things to show the young ladies that they could become a driver or an engineer or whatever. So if a brand share this kind of particular interest, for example, and a lot of brands working on that in the world, that would be something that we would do, for example, somebody that would share the same beliefs.
Great. Good on time? All right. Well, thank you, my
So
friend.
thank you for having me.
Good luck.
Pleasure.
Good luck this week.